across countries and across sectors. Our mission is to help our clients succeed by creating long-term value for their stakeholders. We help clients explore uncharted territories, exploit new opportunities, unlock hidden potential, and create shareholder value. We address top-of-mind needs of the client top management through a range of contemporary offerings from strategy formulation to strategy deployment. We help our clients in strategy, enhancing revenue, improving operational efficiency, and improving organizational effectiveness. We also drive the implementation with engineering, consumer products and retail, education and healthcare. Tata Strategic prides itself on its quality professionals. Highly innovative and motivated, our employees form the backbone of our organization.
Reliance Industries, Mr. Manish Panchal, Senior Practice Head, Tata Strategic Management Group, distinguished speakers, and all of our guests, welcome. We are delighted to have you to participate and share in the Global Supply Chain Summit 2017 here at the sprawling Bombay Exhibition Center. Thank you for coming. That many of you have traveled long distances serves to remind us just how important our work is. The theme for this year's Global Supply Chain Summit is Building Robust Supply Chain for Competitiveness. At a time when the epicenter of global trade leadership is palpably shifting from the west to the south, to China and India, the timing of this summit is noteworthy as the theme of the summit pertinent. We are honored to have our distinguished assembly of supply chain and logistics practitioners with us today. Their collective expectations have prompted us to prepare an agenda papered with such relevant topics as Make in India and GST rollout. These epochal events will influence the strategic intent of supply chain management of all. The scale and speed of technology-induced disruption will force enterprises to revisit its strategy framework. The resultant holistic approach to customer value management will challenge and impact the structure, process, and tools of every organization. Adoption to this coveted future state will call for highest level of collaboration among supply chain professionals of every hue. This summit may well be a vanguard and a step forward in that direction. In different sessions of the summit, subject matter experts will discuss and disseminate topics covering advances in demand-driven MRP, effective strategies in closing the gap across value networks, and multi-echelon inventory optimization in the fledgling omni-channel e-commerce domains. Indian e-commerce has taken the world by storm. While nurturing the phenomenal growth opportunity in this segment, we are at risk of being besieged with an underprepared logistics and distribution infrastructure. This is ye dil mange more moment for the supply chain fraternity. Keeping in touch with this reality, the summit has scheduled an executive masterclass, how to grow sales with better SCM, as well as a session each deliberating on the benefits of FTA in developing a global supply chain and facing and mitigating risk in a volatile world. Prepare yourself to be challenged, excited, and inspired. Thank you. May I have Mohit to come in now? So that's the last mile to be covered. Takes a little time to join it. Mr. B. Narayan, Group President Procurement and Projects, is a core member of the top management team at Reliance Industries Limited, where he is responsible for managing an annual spend of US dollars 1.2 billion for revenue expenses and capex procurement of $10 billion in hydrocarbon businesses of raw material, R&M and petrochemicals. Mr. Narayan holds a master's degree in chemical engineering from IIT Madras and is an industry expert in projects, procurement and contracting with over 43 years of experience. He is an avid chess player and has a keen interest in philosophy. Mr. Narayan has kindly agreed to deliver the keynote, so I request Mr. Narayan to come in.
Good morning. The dignitaries in the dais and ladies and gentlemen. Now, the subject of today is very evolved one. And I was just wondering whether I would be able to do justice by speaking for 10-15 minutes and cover the entire gamut of the supply chain management, how robust it should be, how weak it is in India, etc., etc. Just to give a little bit of a flavor as to where we stand opposite the world logistics or supply chain side, or particularly the logistics part of the supply chain. The reason I said is because the supply chain subject is a very vast one, and I'm going to concentrate just on the logistics side in today's talk. And so where we stand. The world supply chain, rather logistic business is in the order of $4 trillion. And it represents about 10% of the global economy. As compared to that, the Indian logistics costs maybe around $90 to $100 billion, maybe representing about 4 to 5% of our economy. And in the world, in the U.S. particularly, it's out of the total world logistics cost, about 45% is spent there. And the logistics involves the road transport, the rail transport, the water transport, sea transport, air transport, etc. And it also involves, when you talk about logistics, particularly in a typical supply chain scenario, if you talk about inbound materials, you have sourcing, purchasing, expediting, inspection, logistics, receipt, warehouse, preservation, etc. These are different factors involving the supply chain. And the logistics plays a very important role in the entire supply chain. To make supply chain very effective and efficient, it's important that we have a very robust and very effective and efficient logistic systems in place for whatever you do. And coming to the inbound material, these material, for particularly industry like ours, where I come from hydrocarbon industry, and involves manufacturing, involves projects implementation, and so we are involved in the supply chain for day-to-day operation of our manufacturing unit, import or domestic procurement of catalysts, chemicals, additives, engineering spares, etc. For projects, you buy capital equipment either from import origin or indigenous. So there is a vast amount of purchasing involved, and also logistics attached to that. Now, when we come to, this is about our kind of industry, but as all of us are in a day-to-day life, We go and buy FMCG goods, we buy fruits and vegetables, and we buy white goods. So that's a separate retail or wholesale market. And there's a huge amount of logistics involved in that area as well. Actually, to be frank, the logistics involved there is much more involved in probably the manufacturing sector. And the reason I say this is the volume of material moving in and the amount of activities involved is very, very large. Just giving an example, how important it is to have an efficient logistics system. Take Walmart. Walmart is plus $300 billion company, and I understand their logistics cost about 1.5% lower than their peers and competitors. In a $300 billion revenue is $3 to $4.5 billion additional cost saving, or rather additional profit that they make as compared to their peers. That itself shows how important it is. And coming to the logistics involved in the retail and wholesale, the material is produced somewhere and it has to be moved in bulk quantity into a distribution center, and from the distribution center it's moved into the retail outlets. Or in the US, you have what's called outlet malls and the retail supermarkets and department stores. So there's a huge amount of transportation involved, and as well as an extremely large amount of IT work involved. In fact, the connectivity is important because the material movement has to be extremely efficient in the sense it has to be cost effective, and otherwise it will show up in the cost of the sale. So, in India, we talk about, take for example, the perishable goods, fruits and vegetables, milk, and fish, meat, flowers. We have a problem in India. The main problem is we do not have an effective, satisfactory, and adequate cold chain transportation or cold chain storage facility to move these material all across. As a result, what's happening today is, in the case of fruits and vegetables, for example, we produce almost about 250 million tons a year, and we produce almost about 260, 270 million tons of cereals and pulses, and about 100 million tons of milk. We're the largest producer of milk in the world. But what happens? The fruits and vegetables and the milk, which is perishable, we lose about 40% as dump. And because wherever it is produced or wherever it is made, these are they are not able to effectively or efficiently move into the consumer places. As a result, it just goes waste. Whereas in Western countries, they are so interlinked, and the products have to be moved into the cold transportation, and even before that, it has to be stored at the correct temperature and conditions, moved in cold chain transport, and also moved into a cold storage facility before it actually is moved into the retail outlets where the consumers pick it up. And so we do not have an adequate facility in the country. For example, the countries like Morocco, Egypt, if you see that, they export a lot of fruits and vegetables and even perishables like flowers. And how they can do, because they are extremely well organized in the sense, particularly in the logistics side, and their airports are well equipped with cold storage facility as compared